Good morning and welcome to your weekend unboxing here on Gaming with ADHD, where today we're going to take a look at Marvel United, released in 2020 from CMON, CMON, cool mini or not, however you're supposed to say it. Honestly, at this point, I don't even remember, and Spin Master games. Now, I had seen this when it originally hit Kickstarter, but I opted not to back it. I'm not the biggest fan of chibi style miniatures, although I'm not opposed to them. And honestly, the gameplay looked pretty mediocre. But then my son picked it up, brought it over to play with us, and I was actually pleasantly surprised. So when I saw it on sale, I decided that, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and get a copy for myself. So, with that said, do make sure you're subscribed to the channel. I do try to cover all sorts of tabletop gaming content, from board games, miniatures, card games, role-playing games, everything in between. And I try to get 2 to 3 videos out each week covering at least 1 or 2 of those subjects. So make sure you're subscribed so that way you don't miss out on any of the upcoming content that I would absolutely love to share with you. So, with that being said, let's go ahead and open this up and see what you get inside Marvel United. All right, so as you can see here on the box, basically this is all of the characters that you're going to get. You get Hulk, Black Widow, Iron Man, Captain America, Captain Marvel, Taskmaster, Red Skull, and Ultron. Those are your 3 villains in the game. You do also get Ant-Man and Wasp, which not sure why they weren't on the cover, but oh well. So then obviously we've got layout of the different components. Now, let's see. Free content. I don't know what that is. And somebody probably stole the QR code now. I don't know. Probably not unique, but that's fine. All right, so we've got the rulebook. Lays out the different components and the different, basically walks through how to play the game. And it's actually a fairly simple game rules-wise, but it's still actually a lot of fun. So there's that. All right, we've got our different tokens. Some of these are going to be used to mark different effects during the game. We've got more tokens. These represent the different actions that you can take. And then we get into the figures. All right, so real quick, let's take a look at these. These are the locations in the game. All right, so we've got Avengers Tower, Stark Labs, Central Park, SHIELD Headquarters, SHIELD Helicarrier, Times Square, New York Police Headquarters, and the Avengers Mansion. So, kind of a mix of things that you know from the movies, things that you know from the comics. The art has a very nice comic book look to it. And, you know, it's very, we'll call it solid and generic. Alright, so this is the villain dashboard. Basically, you'll use this to track which objectives you've completed on your way towards taking out the villain. And then the different villains and what happens, what are their special rules, how they work, how to modify it based on the number of players. And so we've got Taskmaster, Ultron, and Red Skull. All right. Now, each character does also get its own deck. Which, so we've got a deck for Red Skull, threat cards. So threat cards like different Hydra villains. Now these don't have their own miniatures, at least not in the retail release. I believe they would have done some for the Kickstarter release. All right, so that's the Red Skull deck. Then Ultron. So Ultron clones, duplication, Ultron virus, more cards based on his abilities. Let's see, these are basically the different objectives for the scenario. Oh, so you can set it for a moderate, hard, or heroic challenge. And then we've got Taskmaster with his elite thugs, explosive traps, and entangling traps. And then obviously his ability cards. So pretty much more of the same. And then we've got our character cards. I find it mixed. I like when the cards include the easy open strips, and then I struggle to be able to just get the easy open strips out. Yes, I get the irony. And then just straight plastic and no easy open strips, and I struggle to get into it. Regardless, I'm struggling to get into the cards. All right, so we've got Captain America's deck. Now, you have 3 different types of actions that you can take. A move action, a fight action, and a heroic action. One of the things that I think is a very interesting mechanic is that as these cards get played, as heroes take their turns, you actually get to build up how many different actions you can take. So it can be very strategic, working with your players, so that way you put down abilities that will actually benefit everyone. So, but overall, I mean, just nice chibi style comic book art. Pretty basic, but again, solid and decent art. I mean, it doesn't need to be amazing or portrait style, whatever. It's good, it's fun, especially if you are aiming this at kids who can. I mean, what do they recommend? They say 14 and up, but I'll be honest, I think that's a misnomer due to U.S. law on how products for children have to be tested for like lead content and stuff. So I think everybody who wants to skip that, they just say it's for 14 and up. And in reality, I think a game like this, at least like a 10-year-old would be able to play it pretty easily. All right, so those are those. And then we've got our miniatures. Let's see here. Let's zoom in a little bit more. All right, so we've got Wasp. Now, I really like how, to show that she's flying, they kind of mounted her on a D6. That's just a lot of fun, but a nice looking pose for her. And since that's Wasp, let's go ahead and pair her with Ant-Man, who they also do a similar thing because, as you can see, he's standing on a quarter. So clearly, the miniatures aren't to scale, but they are pretty fun. There's actually a lot of good detail in there as well. I think I'm going to have to paint these. Of course, I say that about most any game with miniatures. All right, then we've got Natasha, or the Black Widow. I like how she's got that flowing hair. my personal favorite, Iron Man. And yes, I was a fan of Iron Man before the movies. Kind of like I like this repulsor blast that's coming off the ground for him launching into the air. Got Cap. This one looks a little strange, because it's that chibi style. Well, I guess I'd call it like a half chibi style because he doesn't have the giant head, but he definitely looks like the body and the head are definitely not, in perfect proportion. But overall, pretty good. They've got the detail on the shield, so that's nice. Got Hulk, so this is a little bit larger miniature, which is nice. Although not too much larger, not too much out of scale for the other figures. But obviously pretty plain, lots of muscles. And then we've got Captain Marvel. So, she looks fine. She's obviously got some kind of a sash or something used to hold her up for her flying pose. But there you go. All right, so that is Marvel United. Like I said, I will be doing, or I have played this before, so I will be getting a review up probably sooner than later. Because honestly, this game was a bit of a surprise. I wasn't expecting to like it as much as I did, but it is a lot of fun. It is an easier game, and it's definitely something that, like I said, you can play with the younger crowd. And I'm definitely going to be doing so. So, what do you think? Have you played Marvel United? Is it good? Is it good for you? Is it good in your group? Let us know down in the comments. We'd love to hear from you. And with that said, please make sure you like the video if you enjoyed it. Make sure you're subscribed to catch any of the future content that we're putting out. And we appreciate you watching the video today. And we'll talk to you next time. Thanks. Bye.